I want to tell you guys a story that I have really never told. As a child, I was a victim of religious abuse. I was saved at the age of 5. My parents didn't attend church, but my dad was diagnosed with testicular cancer when I was 12. It really pushed our whole family to start really using our faith to get through that time. During that time, God sent us prayer warriors to believe for us when our faith was lacking. One of these people, who appeared to have it all together, to be so close with God, used her Bible to try to control my behavior. She didn't see me as pure. She saw me as a bad influence. She made it known every single time she had an interaction with me. She constantly would get onto me and make me feel so unworthy. I have ADHD, and I honestly could not sit through a whole church service. I would do what any teenager would do and go to the bathroom, and she would literally call me out. She acted like I was possessed by Satan because I watched TV, because I was raised in a worldly home. She would use destructive and shameful language when she spoke to me, and she could have been the reason I turned away from God. I know now as an adult and after years of therapy, that self-righteous people can actually cause people religious trauma. God does not call us to be religious. He didn't send you for judgment based on our external observations of people. God calls us to sharpen each other, lift each other up. He didn't ask us to exalt ourselves and make others feel less than. Jesus was all about personal responsibility. Sometimes that requires you to have some humility and admit that even if you have good intentions, pretending to know what God has planned for someone else's life is not your job. And rallying people together on this belief that you know better for someone than God does could cause so much damage. The Bible says that Christians that are shamed on earth will be crowded in heaven. It also means that some of the shame comes from other Christians. You are not falling short in the eyes of God because someone says you are. You are not falling short in the eyes of God because you've experienced pain or trauma, anxiety or depression. And I can tell you, if I wouldn't have healed from that time in my life, I would no longer be a Christian. God didn't appoint people of the church as his judgmental little minions. He appointed us to love one another and save souls. So if the work you think you're doing is turning people the opposite way and causing unnecessary shame, guilt, torment, and pain, time to step back and admit that you are driving people away from God. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. John 3:17. Make sure that you're not helping the devil do his job. It's not your job to decide what's worldly and what's godly, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And usually this behavior is driven from a place of fear. Guess where fear comes from?